Hey everyone, so just to update on the last video that I posted about the US government mining Bitcoin, I think I kind of jumped the gun and didn't, well, I did. I jumped the gun and just read that article and didn't really look into this more. I should have read, or I should have went to the video that this guy was talking about. Man, I forget his name now. I was just watching it like a couple seconds ago, but it it doesn't seem like, for one, I'm not seeing anything where he's a government advisor, like where he's like he works for the government or anything like that. Let me show you guys the actual clip.
Start to think about mining on the geopolitical kind of scale, if you will. So we've got El Salvador there in the game now with the volcano mining. China obviously was doing all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to say where I know this from, but Venezuela, they're mining. There's other countries that are mining.
Sure.
Maybe not the most friendly to the United States. What do you think is the milestones or inflection points where we go from maybe countries that are not so friendly to the United States and or small countries like El Salvador mining to everyone's mining? Like, what's it going to take for the United States to start mining?
The United States is already mining.
Okay.
Maybe.
I know
they might have like 10 or 20 megawatts running somewhere in the Midwest to test it out. Maybe. It's hypothetically speaking.
So that's kind of the clip where, like, I don't know how this guy would know that the United States is mining unless he's kind of alluding to that the United States is mining through his company, Compass Mining. But maybe that's just him saying it to like talk up his company, like, oh, the United States is mining through us, as like some type of slide thing to pump up his company or something like that. I don't know.
But it's a matter of national security, right? When it comes to mining, when you're talking about what Bitcoin is, right? Whether it's a store of value, it's or a medium of exchange, it is the future financial instrument that many, many things are going to be built on top of. Nations would have to be absolutely out of their minds to not be getting some exposure to the underlying infrastructure which supports it. So the U.S., I think, is on the front foot. We've had a lot of conversations with the government in D.C., state governments to help to educate them, but they are very forward thinking when it comes.
So that's where I guess this article got that he's a government advisor, just because he said that he had conversations with people in Washington, D.C. I mean, anyone can have conversations with government officials. It doesn't mean that they're an advisor.
Comes to supporting this, but I think that what we're going to see, and we're seeing it already, is nations around the world who want to move from the third to the second to the first class.
But I guess that's kind of like when I started looking at his LinkedIn account, I didn't see any government advisor thing on his LinkedIn account or anything like that. I should have looked into this more before posting that video.
Right? They want to become these first world countries. They now know that being early with this will take them there. The move in El Salvador is going to be a big one that proves out in 20 to 30 years.
I want to play a game with you. It's called like story poker.
Okay.
And so I'll tell you one story, then you got to tell me one in return.
Okay.
So I know for a fact that there's a federal law enforcement agency that was mining Bitcoin in 2012, 2013, very early on. And what they realized was they couldn't get the budget to go buy Bitcoin in one of the exchanges and then use that in undercover operations. So what they did was, it was very easy though to get budget approved by computers.
Sure.
Oh, sure, of course you need computers. So they bought mining equipment. They mined the Bitcoin. It also was untraceable.
So this is where that article was saying that like that the government, I think the way that the article read, or the way that I presented it in my video, was that the government couldn't buy Bitcoin miners, so they bought Bitcoin, or so the government couldn't buy Bitcoin miners, so they bought computers instead, because that's what the budget was approved for. But this is saying that the government couldn't buy Bitcoin, and instead they mined to get the Bitcoin. And I think this might be in relation to the Bitcoin that was used to buy drugs to help uncover the Silk Road and all that.
Yeah.
It was basically, virgin Bitcoin, if you will. And then they would take that Bitcoin and they would use it in undercover buys, etc. They could trace it. Somebody who participated in this told me this one time after they had left.
Wow.
I was blown away. I was like, man, and not only to be doing it the way they did it, it made sense, in hindsight as to why they would get computers approved versus go purchase directly, but also to be doing it that early. Very, very good. Your turn. You tell me a story.
So, so this is how you get in trouble. Right?
So that's where that "so this is how you get in trouble" thing is coming from. Like, not that he slipped up and said that the United States is mining Bitcoin, but this is how you get in trouble. Like, oh, I'll tell you a story, now you tell me a story type of thing. Yeah, so that article just took things out of context pretty much. All right, and I'm sorry that I posted that video.